Alright, you need to understand something. I was hyped for this game after I played it the first time, but after a recent live stream, which you should check out too on the channel after subscribing and turning on the notification bell, we did a previous episode on this, and I thought, oh, that's a cool RTS, like, Viking strategy city builder. But after our last live stream, I finally have realized that this game has much more to offer than we previously thought. Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to Frozenheim, a multiplayer and also single-player, real-time city building and strategy game that's coming soon to Steam. And my God, is this game got a lot more features than I thought. We're going to jump into a skirmish now. I completed previously 2 of the campaign missions that are available in this early look. The first couple missions kind of get used to combat, but there's also more detailed shipbuilding of Viking longships and also much more city building than I previously thought. So if you were thinking about getting this game and aren't sure, man oh man, does this game have a hell of a lot more to offer than I could have ever imagined. I'm not even going to play against the AI here because I just want to show you all the city building that's available in this game coming soon again to Steam. So let's go ahead and jump on a single-player game and see how it goes. It is very cold during the winter. The birth rate is lower this time of year. This game has much more to offer than I thought in terms of complexity. And the seasons, as you see on the left and right between winter and summer or spring there, really do matter. We can actually do farming in this game, build pig farms and such. And I really should have taken a look at this before, but there's so much more detail in here. Let's go ahead and consider this now to just be a city builder rather than a RTS game. So let's go ahead and now take a look at all the features that we have. Now we're going to assign a bunch of people here and get cracking on building this. Again, if you've not seen this, you can build houses. You have to prepare for fires. There's also resource gathering like stone and iron ore, which they consider to be bog iron, which then has to be smelted down. So we're going to try to build this time as if it were kind of more of a city builder. As I mentioned several times, we will have a military, but trees also grow back at a great rate. Man, I'm just excited to play this again, and this is just me wanting to play again. So welcome again, everybody, and it's good to see you here. We're going to go ahead and put down our hunters, or rather our woodcutters camp over here. Hunter is important too, because they also gather hides, which will be needed for making a military, and also ships too. The hunters gather meat, but also the animal skins are very important. Under here, defenses, we see we can build walls, gates, and also a watchtower, so we can actually wall off our settlement. And when I realized I could do that, it really reminded me a lot now of Dawn of Man. So if you're a big fan of Dawn of Man, Ostrieve, if you really like Anno 1800, this game gives me all sorts of feels like that. We're going to send out our scouts now to look around and see what else we can find. Perhaps our coast extends a little bit. Maybe we can build further down that way. Looks like it just comes to an end here, but we'll go back this way and we'll look around the map. These maps for multiplayer allow you to have naval combat, and you can put your naval units on board the ship and then, of course, invade that way. So 2 large ships could allow you to basically launch an invasion of 8 units, so you can bring archers and axemen and berserkers and other things along to fight. Now, I believe also on the map there are bandit camps, so if we find those, we also have the ability to go to the temple to get different type of upgrades and such, and the elders' homes in order to take advantage of those. This is great space here, and I believe we can only build around the initial circle of our settlement, so we can build farms and such back here. So it looks like we now have our farm up and running, rather our woodcutter up and running, so we'll get people assigned to that. We're going to build some more homes so we can have some more Vikings join our wonderful clan. I've noticed, by the way, it is incredibly important to build buildings very close together because you have such limited space, and there are bonuses for doing that. So if we go ahead and assign houses, a cool feature here too is if you hold shift, it'll actually snap buildings into place, so you can kind of have like a grid based on the buildings that are next to it. So if you want to build 3 buildings in a row, it makes it a lot easier. So if you happen to rotate something and hold shift, boom, it'll snap right in, and that's just really slick. So let's go ahead and speed up time a little bit. Seasons are going by at the moment, and as you can see, it's now spring or summer, so food production is increased, and also increased fertility too for our villagers, so the population will continue to increase too. So building homes and keeping people happy does help you to further your objective. It doesn't just increase population cap, it allows you to get more people in your city and do it faster by basically having a higher quality home that has all the things they need, such as faith. These watchtowers, of course, allows us to scout around, and we found a village here, which we could probably do quests for, more than likely eliminating raiders that will then allow them to give us probably a big amount of stuff here. Few villagers living on their own. They struggle with bandits and wild animals. So if we do a quest for them, we will help out with doing that, and they'll reward the Jarl, which is us. So basically, if we get rid of the bandits raiding their farm, they'll give us some supply, and that's a great thing. let's go ahead and continue on with where we were. So we should be able to now get additional people working. And more importantly than anything else, it's got to be wood in this game. So it's really important to build multiple logging camps and also supply them. A warehouse is a very useful unit too, or a building that you can build and have your people inside. The warehouses then bring supplies back, and it's kind of a linked warehouse system. The Jarl's Homestead is like a giant warehouse, and then the other warehouses that you build, similar to Anno 1800, where all warehouses kind of share the supplies. So if you have, clay on one side of the map and bricks on the other, you can have them made. That's in Anno 1800. So if you want to have things made on one side and the other, it's a great way to do that in that game. And so here, if you're gathering stone from one side of the map and it needs to be supplied to another side, you can do it that way. Like, for example, supplying the bloomery with bog iron. All right, well, we're already starting now to supply our people with a lot of wood, which we'll need for the coming winter. To prepare for winter, we'll need to go fishing. So let's go ahead and see if we can get a fishing hut up. Fisherman's hut will be quite useful to gather, obviously, fish, and will keep us fed throughout the summer and I think winter months too. I believe they're able to go out into the ocean and such for that, so try to place that somewhere nice. Unfortunately, we can't rotate this the way we'd like to, so we kind of just have to build however. So we'll try to build it somewhere over here. It is raining too. Weather effects do affect combat in this game. So if it is a raining storm, it may affect your unit's vision. So it might be a good idea to bring some scouts along to increase archers' range, or to bring a lot more troops, because their movement speed is also reduced. So if an enemy's waiting for you to ambush you, that could be a thing too. I'm really trying to struggle here to get this damn fisher hut here, but it's a good spot to put it because it really uses all the space. Maybe it's just snapping in for a split second. Come on, Pinto Blast. Let's see if we can get that. Oh, it wants to. I'll just click like crazy and see if it'll actually go in there. Well, it's going to give us a little trouble. We'll try to put it back here instead then. There we go. Again, I'm trying to get as much real estate as I can on the shore because we also want to build ourselves a shipyard. And so building a shipyard will allow us to build longer ships. We can also build a boat, which can allow us to do a little bit of exploration with a scout unit without having a full-fledged military unit. Okay, the woodcutters are cutting down all the trees. We can always move their production to a different location. So in this case, we're going to move it up here. And we'll have to get on the hunters very shortly. We'll go with more woodcutters. And eventually we'll go with more hunters. Oh, it looks like there's some wild animals there, so we'll need to watch out for that. We'll have to bring over some... It looks like there's wolves inside this forest here. So that's something we got to be on the lookout for. They could threaten our loggers, or possibly military if they come by. Build some more houses now. We're going to build this in kind of a square format. Wells are important. We'll need those to put out fires, which can happen at random, or if the enemy attacks us. And we'll also get ourselves another building up for hunting, and this will be a great place for collection. We have stone there. We'll need to look for iron, although I don't see any at the moment. There it is there. So we have stone and iron that we can gather from collectors. We'll try to put our hunting hut there, and then we can also try to put down a collector's hut too, which will then gather all that stuff. Winter is now here. So high storm probability, aggressive animals, and bandits. They become more aggressive during those end months, and now there's an update for winter, which is unit speed is less, food consumption increases by 10%, so we'll have less of that in storage, and also different negative effects for the winter. Things basically slow down and come to a complete stop. Looks like we're almost out of food, but we'll correct that as soon as we build ourselves another fishing hut, which should be done soon, and we'll get the first one applied to have workers at it now that it's finished. Perfect. We'll build another one of those. Luckily, we should be able to feed all of our people through that way. And we'll go with yet another fisherman's building as soon as we're ready and able through the collector hut. Yep, so let's go ahead and assign those a couple of workers. We'll get one person working there. Hunter needs to have a person working there. And we should have some more homes to be built now soon, too. The Druid is very beneficial. This is kind of a religious building that increases faith and allows us to also heal our military units if they're nearby. We'll build that just next to the homes here. So you can see there's a little bit of space between them. So again, although it looks a little cramped, it is going to be beneficial to get all these buildings together because of the bonus it can provide for being neighborly and also for having all of our buildings be under the same protections of a well, saving space for farms and such. All right, we'll put a druid there and we'll put a well nearby as soon as we can. This game has an absolutely stunning photo mode too, which I did not see before. But when you have a ship out on the ocean, for example, or out on the water, it just looks stellar. absolutely fantastic that they included this. A lot of people were mentioning Frostpunk, which I totally understand now, due to the fact that the game has quite a beautiful UI that reminds me a lot of that. A lot of gray buttons and black buttons, and also the frost on the corners of the screen really reminds me of that as well. Alright, we're still waiting on the fisherman's hut because we need stone. You can see the people making pathways and roads. Every time your people walk around, they do make roads that way. So it'll kind of show you where the most traffic is coming from. Luckily, we have a warehouse here, which will limit the traffic coming from this area, meaning that we can use our supplies a little faster. So if we gather wood, it'll be in storage faster, stone will be faster, and also the hunter will be faster. Looks like there's some deer there. We'll go ahead and hunt that deer there. And I don't know how forestry, how cutting down trees affects it in this game. Obviously, you don't want to destroy a deer's habitat, otherwise they won't be able to live, but I don't know if there's a way yet to be able to possibly find more, do things differently. I'm not sure if there's a way to do that other than building it within our settlement. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and try to build military units now. We'll go ahead and try to put down a military unit as soon as possible. Our training field we'll put nearby the Jarl's house, right around here. Actually, we'll put it around the backside. There we go. This military camp will be a great spot next to the water, because then it allows us to make and transport troops very easily via ship, and also to defend the core of our settlement. We're also going to have to put a wall around this, and we're going to need a lot more than 193 logs to do so, but we'll probably put a wall around it once we're complete with the building. And obviously, it's a lot easier to build defenses once the settlement is more complete. We'll try to put a collector's hut here for the bog iron. And that's close enough to the Jarl's house where they'll have to take a small trip, but it won't be too bad. So imagine this as a strategy game, too, where now, if we're fighting against another player, this is kind of more in line with Anno 1800, where it does take a lot longer to set up an attack and prepare. Obviously, we're waiting for several months or years rather than just a few days, as the seasons are changing around us. We can now build farms. Let's build some farms over here, too. And, of course, the farms will provide us with food and also fabric, or in this case, skins, as the game calls it, animal skins. This is something that can be provided. The farmhouse is more of a livestock farm, and it'll have pigs and chickens and such that will provide meat and leather or skins for the tannery, which can make clothes, which are then applied to the archers, which are very useful as well. Let's go ahead and make sure this covers all these areas there. Okay, great. Everything's being built with absolute haste, it seems. Let's go ahead and make sure we've got more buildings being constructed. Want to make sure we've got something going on all the time. There's abilities to upgrade our weapons, too, through the weaponsmith, and there's also a way to upgrade our people and their skills through the elders. So that'll be an important thing. The windmill itself is probably my favorite building so far, allowing us to build farms around the windmill near our settlement. And we'll go ahead and try to build that over this way. And maybe we can build it outside the settlement. It's going to be very difficult, I think, to wall the whole thing off, but since we're limited in our space, I think we might try to wall in our farm, too. Maybe we can put it over here. And we'll see if we can provide a wall with a gate. It's going to be an interesting thing to see if we have enough materials to do this. Let's assign some more workers now. We've got quite a few people working here, or in our city, so we're going to assign many more people to work all these jobs now. See if we can get them fully staffed to increase their production. And those are bonuses for other ways, too. To get more people working in our city, we can increase production by upgrading it or unlocking new upgrades from our elders. In other words, we can basically prepare for a harsh winter by unlocking some sort of a skill or whatnot through the temple, through ruins, in order to increase our productivity. Look at all the units available: axemen, scouts, archers, shield bearer, and spearmen. And the scouts and berserkers can add them too once we unlock those. There's more units than just what's there so far. Okay, let's go ahead and build another fishing dock. We do want to prepare more food for our growing army. There we go. And eventually we'll put down a lovely shipyard too, obviously requiring more stone for that. We could put down another gathering hut if we wanted to, another collector's guild to gather that stuff faster, and to be honest, that is incredibly important. It is now yet another rainy day in our settlement. We'll go ahead and build another building here to gather stone. Trying to make that as square as possible, mostly just to be appealing. Honestly, this kind of feels like a stronghold game too, since we're just as focused on the economy as we are focused on the... Actually, I'd say more than the latest Stronghold game, where we're more concerned about food, but not necessarily variety. It's incredibly important. It looks like the windmill faces this way when we build it, so we'll have to keep that in mind for next time, so it faces the direction we want to. But here, we can make a giant field. So if we'd like to, we can build a nice farm field next to the docks. And we can also have our people go around it. But as you can see here, we can make a nice long field through the trees. And it'll look quite nice. Let's try to build a field over here instead. Might be a little easier. Unfortunately, we do have to build within the circle. So sometimes it can be a little tricky laying it out, but you can see the effectiveness. Looks like we can actually put it around the mill too, so let's try that one more time then. What I'll try to do is build as close to the mill as I can. And as we click a few times, there we go. Our effectiveness may be less, but it is difficult to fit it perfectly within our settlement. Alright, this time we've been gathering a lot of wood. We can now build a gate for 25. And we can build that along the wall. So let's try to wall in our full settlement. Maybe the whole thing here. There are some natural defenses with the mountain. So perhaps we could build a small wall along this way. And of course we want to keep in some of our natural resources like trees and stones. But we may as well build around our whole territory. All the way up to these mountains here. And around those too. Oh, looks like there's more stone up there. We'll have another collection guild move over here and gather from the outside of the wall. We can then build up here. Now we can also put down watchtowers to guard the city. So let's go ahead and see how that looks. And very nice. It didn't take too many materials, a lot more than you'd have at the start. So it's a good idea to wait a little bit to build that. But we are now defended. And we now have a gate going up on several sides here. Excellent. And now we can have our Collectors Guild over here also gather what we need. Risk of fire is growing. Fire can happen any time of the year. So it's a good idea for us to prepare some wells. I don't know if it's just homes that can burst into flame, or if it's also industrial buildings. So we'll build a couple wells just to be sure. And we'll need more people in our city too, so let's continue to build. Excellent. Alright. Perfect. Oh, several of these walls are going up. Let's add some more collectors guilds now. They should be able to gather just outside for us. It'll be rather close, but still within the defenses. Now, the tanners also needed to make clothing for our warriors, so we may as well prepare that. And it's a good idea to build that maybe over by the pig farm. So that way it's all kind of the same industry over here with both the pig farm and the hunter providing those types of skins. The hunter should be able to go out through the gate once the gate is built. And our keep is enclosed. Doesn't that look sweet? If we look from photo mode, man, oh man, is that impressive. Just gorgeous. Really, really amazing. All the buildings and such look so good. Very cool stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and continue. We'll go ahead and add ourselves some watchtowers. As long as they don't require any sort of major materials. Unfortunately, they seem to require steel, so that's something we can get on then by building ourselves a bloomery. And let's build a bloomery over here near our Collectors Guild on this side. And the bloomery will require 5 more stones. So good thing that we're building that. Let's speed up time while we wait. And we'll assign more fishermen. And now we have a lot more people to actually work at these buildings, including the farm. 3 more people now available to work. The wells require people to work there, as well as the Collectors Guild. So we have a second guild now to gather stone. And the faster it's in our inventory, the better. The faster we can build things. And more homes are constructed with still 0 workers now. You can see how large our homes are going to have to be. I'm going to try to build these in several different areas just to add a little variety. Otherwise, things will look a little too matchy-matchy. And maybe not as appealing. Build another home here. And we just try to build things as close together as we can. Yet another building done. Good. Alright. Much to construct in this game. Even a temple is still needed, and our Elder's Hall, which we can build somewhere nearby. We still need more stone, so let's assign some new villagers to work on gathering stone over here. Now, I'm not exactly sure how we would gather materials far away from our settlement. Like, for example, if we run out of iron that's just outside of our wall, such as over here, where do we get more eventually? That's something that just remains to be seen. Luckily, we got quite a bit of bog iron, so when we need more, we'll switch our work area around. We'll go ahead and start making some clothing now. And, of course, the farmhouse and the farm are not functional in winter, which would be nice if the game reallocates that labor, but it doesn't seem like it does at the moment. Where if you have 5 people working at the farm, they don't go to work somewhere else. Which would be a nice thing like an Ostriv. But again, that's more of a city builder. This is a damn fine surprise one, though. Let's put our marketplace over here in the center, by the Jarl's house. And let's also build ourselves a shipyard, finally. If we can. Requires the bloomery, though, to build. So let's go ahead and build that bloomery, finally. Over here by the hill. Be a nice spot right here on the cliff. There we are. So obviously, it's going to be a little angled, but it'll work. Let's go ahead and build ourselves some more homes. We need more Vikings. There we are. And I think we'll need some more food, too. So another farmhouse would definitely be a welcome sight in the city. Maybe a few more farms on the outskirts. And this would be a great spot to build a new windmill. Although, look, it still takes up quite a bit of space. Now, the benefit of the farmhouse, though, is at least it provides more and more hides or skin. And that's needed for your large boat construction. So the farm does definitely give a great boost to the summer stock of food. But the farmhouses will provide both food and something else. Let's take a look at their cost. 35 versus 15. So the windmill, more affordable as well. Okay. Now that the bloomery is up and running, this, of course, is a building that smelts down the bog iron into actual steel, which we can use for our axemen or building the shipyard. Let's go ahead and put that down, too. And let's see how many fisherman wharfs we can put in. Although that's going to look a little ugly if we do it that way. Unfortunately, that's going to look a little weird, so we're going for style points now more than functionality with that. Weaponsmith can be nearby the camp over here. There we are, the warriors camp. Fantastic. And we want ourselves another druid. We'll try to put it somewhere near here. Gives a benefit to the neighborhood. Maybe we'll try to put it here. And build some more homes nearby. There we are. Fantastic. Population allows us to have 54 more available people. Sounds like quite a bit, doesn't it? But you'll watch it disappear as soon as we start adding people to the remaining jobs. 5 at the shipbuilder. And check this out, by the way. The shipbuilding is amazing. We can build custom ships. We can ram with our ships. We can also upgrade our ships to have different carving types. So let's go over everything here. This is an important data point right here. Something to really pay attention to. We have 3 different types of ships. Small, medium, and large hull size. But then also we can have a different carving type, which then gives us an increased ram speed and other things such as construction time and durability. There's one more we can unlock too called the Ebix, which then allows us to have a greater ram speed. And you can do that to any of these ships. The largest ship with the highest ram speed or ram damage would be almost 1,000 if we upgrade that and get that built. So with a large sail, we can be faster. We can also add a tent and such to increase and decrease things if we want to, like construction time or crew size can be also adjusted by the size of the ship. So there's a lot of customization here, and you can get people assigned to work there too to speed up that construction even further. We'll build some ships here in a little while now that we have access to it, but also the weaponsmith giving you upgrades too. So So as we add some weaponsmiths, we can get things like sharper axes or longbows or reinforced shoes, which will give us all sorts of different bonuses. We just got to pay attention to which ones we want the most in order to fight the enemy. But we're just building these buildings for trade now. We're a peaceful tribe at the moment, but we are ready to fight if anything threatens us. Marketplace, as you would imagine, you can exchange things. So if we wanted to exchange a bunch of clothing for a bunch of stone, we can do that. And so now we kind of have a more open experience, as we now have the ability to make many more weapons and things like that, and buy more steel to do so. Let's go ahead and start building some towers, though. I'd like to build some towers to build our defenses. We're going to go for a beautiful screenshot in this one, if we can. We're going to try to build some watchtowers near the gates. And the cool thing about the watchtowers is we can put people inside of them by just giving them jobs. In other words, we can assign it like we could a windmill. We don't actually have to train a military unit and put it up there. So if we know the enemy's on the way and we have a few things already in the queue, if we're training axemen and we need archers, then we can go ahead and assign archers to work there as well. I'm going to try to put the watchtower up there. I believe we can also put archers in there. I think that is something that you can do. And we're going to put some towers on either side. I really want to extend the wall, but it looks like we're limited by the size of our encampment. Now, I'm not sure if there's a way to upgrade this, but I think it's meant to keep it small because the Vikings weren't known for building massive cities. They were more known for building small towns and settlements like that, and many of them in different places for trade and raid. Oh, looks like we were able to put out that fire. Excellent. That building should be repaired by the workers over time. Those things do happen. Now, we don't need any more homes, I think, so we're going to try to add some other things to our city. Let's try another watchtower if we can. Try to build it somewhere near the gate, maybe. And they can fire over the gate, too. I don't know if the gatehouse can have defenders. We did build a little close to the gate, to be honest, with some of these buildings, but it's more for protection, and we can always move them around if we want to. And, of course, we want defenses along the whole wall, not just the gates. We'll assign some people there. The gates we can actually open and close. So if the enemy's coming, we can click on this symbol there, and the gate will actually open and close. Amazing. Very cool. It would be nice to put flags and stuff around our settlement, too, just for bonus points and intimidation factor. Go ahead and assign everybody to these walls then. So as you can see, when we turn the walls on, or the towers on, but really part of the wall, you can see it puts a few archers up there. So we can put an archer inside of each of these 4 archers, and they can work 2 and 2 at the gates. I think the enemy's more likely to attack your, obviously, wall's probably going to be a little less durable than the gate. But the gate would probably be where the most important stuff would be, where it's directly into the city. So it gives you more direct line to bypass the enemy's defenses. Alright, we need to make some more iron then. The bloomery is working at full capacity. I'm sure some of these buildings don't have full workers there, but let's go ahead and start making some units. We're going to go ahead and make some axemen. If we can, we're going to start to make 1. And we need a lot more iron, so we should probably trade something we have a lot of for all that pre-made iron. We can actually trade regular iron for that, so let's do that. We'll trade regular iron for the completed stuff. Let's go ahead and trade maybe half of what we got, around half. 50 should do. Pretty close. Oh, we have to use the slider again. Wow, look at that. We can trade 50 for 7. My goodness, that's a bad deal. Let's try hides. 50 for 7 again. There is an upgrade to get better deals on that. Let's see if we can get to it then. We can build the Elders Hall, which allows us to get even better upgrades for our city. And I believe provides some sort of benefit for wisdom near anybody living near this building. So anybody who's settled near the Elders Hall will receive a bonus of wisdom. And near the Druid is faith, and so on and so forth. Looks like that farm field is still there, so we'll try to build it up here. We'll build it on this side. Looks like that's a good place to tuck it in. We also need to build our temple, which requires a lot of stone, but gives you massive upgrades if you capture positions on the map, taking control of rune stones. There's other rune stones on the map like Loki and Odin, and if you capture those, that gives you an extra bonus, like for example wind in your favor, so you get faster naval units, reforestation, which allows for all the trees in these kind of greener areas to immediately regrow, which could give you a huge boost to building anything, defenses and navy alike. So very big bonuses for doing that. Go ahead and add ourselves another watchtower. Excellent. We got those mostly occupied. Looks pretty cool, our settlement, I'd say. If we go back into photo mode, it looks pretty damn impressive. I must say that looks really cool. Although some of these buildings are closer together. But this is more for functionality of the bonuses like the druid and the wells in order to keep them protected from fire and also to give them faith and wisdom. And of course, if you just capture a screenshot, it'll just save it to one of your folders there. Impressive. Very cool. These guys just standing around here. Now, I've noticed some glitches with the game. Very minor stuff. Some of it kind of hilarious. Boats will go through the ground, which is something I think the developer is well aware of and fixing right away. And there was also a glitch with some units cutting down trees and the trees flying across the map, which is mostly hilarious rather than game-breaking or anything like that, aside from the ship one. Obviously, you don't expect a Viking raid from behind you via a ship while you're on the land. Hilarious. Let's go ahead and continue to build more units here. We'll build 3 in total and get them on board our ship. And it is time for us to build a ship. We'll get one designed here. We'll build ourselves a large wolf with a wide sail and a tent on back, so you'll see the materials that'll take. We'll need a bit more steel and a bit more wood to be made. Looks like we are producing stuff here. It's a 0 out of 2. I'm not sure if these guys just can't get here. That might be an issue to resolve here in a little bit. Looks like they weren't able to get to their place of work. I wasn't sure if them being there was an animation or what. Let's build the bloomery back here instead. We'll try that on flat land, and we'll put a guard tower there. Some things to still iron out. But again, this game coming out on the 20th or the 21st on Steam. I'm already a fan. This was stealth, man. It came out of nowhere. I love it. I wonder if units can move here. The wall kind of looks silly this way, so let's remove that just for style points. There we go. Obviously, an enemy can flank that quite easily. Well, we're just going for appearance and trying to make it look cool. There we go. That looks better. So obviously, if you're a person who likes city builders and RTS games, this is a dream. It makes me excited for other games coming soon, like Manor Lords, which will play out similarly in many ways, but also has its own uniqueness of being more similar to Total War. This kind of feels a little bit like Manor Lords with a bit of Austrive, a little bit of Ancestors Legacy, but also its own thing. And I like how everything, by playing a game or two, it really feels like a game that I've played before, yet also new and familiar and different all at the same time. It's got great features. Really like the whole shipbuilding. Rather than selecting a unit that's pre-made, you get to build your own. So that's really neat. You can always do things for style points. Okay, we need to move our Collectors Guild here. They've gathered all the materials there. We can go for the iron out on this side. And we're gathering lots of the stone nearby. We're going to build some more units and go see if we can help that farm. We'll see if we can get rid of the wild animals nearby. Or see if we can get rid of the wild animals or the bandits that could be attacking. We need a bit more wood, as you can see. And the best thing I think we could trade for that is maybe clothing. That'll be our most expensive item. That'll be mostly for archers, so let's do a big trade of basic resources. We can give a bunch of clothing for iron. We'll trade most of what we have for that. 50, and we'll trade a bunch of food for, let's see, wood. Let's see if we can do a trade for wood. There we go. Excellent. Gives us much more. All right, we'll have a little bit of a food problem for a second or two, but it should buff itself out. There we go. Yes, I know. I'm selling all the food. Crazy. I'm a crazy man. All right, let's get another unit up here. We'll have to get some more food then, as soon as they have. 5 production farms. We'll go with another one then. I want more leather so we can make more clothing, but also increase our farms over there. Now, if we go out, we can also find areas where supplies have been stacked up, and we can find ourselves, like, for example, a overturned wagon with food and leather and iron in it. And that'll be a good thing for us to gather up and spread amongst our Viking raiders. Look at that. Food's already back up to 80. Wow, that was nothing, no problem at all. Let's try a new unit, the Spearman. I haven't seen that unit before. And a shield bearer. Let's try those as well. How are we doing for remaining people in the camp? Wow, only 4. Only 4 people that have not been assigned any sort of job yet. They're ready to work. We just got to assign them. Well, well, well. Let's see. We need a well there. Excellent. Build some more homes if we can. Build this house here to kind of add a little variety. Imagine that. You're working on trying to defeat your enemy, but also trying to be stylish in the process. That's crazy. Many a nation has done that before. Looks like the fire's been put out. Excellent. Alright, so in order to build our ship, we just need a bit more iron. And we're losing those materials from all of our crafting and such, but the ship will probably be the last thing we do. Let's finish the city before we go out and explore. And also, we're going to get these berserkers ready, or rather these shield bearers ready. They all have bonuses, by the way. If you happen to lose some of your units, you can return to a druid's camp or a training field in order to replenish them. They can also heal at a druid, and the bonuses for each of those units can be increased by going to the elders or the weaponsmith in order to get bonuses for the weapons or for the troops. Now that the elder's house is complete, we have a technology tree here. We can go down. We can choose to go down 2 of these 3 clans. I think the 2 best ones are the deer for production and the wolf for battle abilities, but there is the crow clan, which allows you to explore and get mysticism that way. We'll go with the deer clan first to give ourselves a little bonus, like for example the orchard, and we can go for a production bonus, which allows us to increase the productivity of a building or allows us to get nearby workers into a military unit, so that's really cool. And the trapper is coming soon as well, so we'll be able to get that in the full game, which will give us even more skins and furs and such, maybe for trade. We'll build the orchard next, because I want to build all the buildings. Playing this more like a city builder now. Let's see how the spearmen go into battle. Looks like they don't have any special ability, but they will be useful against these wolves. Get them, boys! Now, the combat is a little jank at the moment. I'm not going to lie, it looks a little weird, but it's not too bad. It's just your generic animations of stab, stab, slash, slash. Alright, looks like we've finished that unit off. Have we completed what they liked? See if we can talk with these people. Looks like there are still bandits raiding the camp. So sometimes it's wild animals, sometimes it's raiders. We can go out and look for those with our military. So we'll send out our scouts and our troops here. See if we can find the raider camp. And it looks like enemies have appeared. Looks like those are wolves again. Attack! Now our units can also level up through combat, and there are ways to get level 1 unit training completed from the actual barracks. There are ways to do that through the elders and the temples. Looks like we found a raider camp over here. There is a bonus to have them recruited by us, too. So if you remember, like, the Germans get a barbarian bonus, I believe, in one of the Civs games where they can recruit them. That's kind of the same here. We're going to build this large ship. We got to get some more iron and such ready, too. Got to stop building stuff. I keep building things. I get so excited to build all the things. Let's assign some workers then to the bloomery. Now we can finally produce metal. Finally, after all this time. And we can try to build our temple. We've got quite a bit of stone to do so. Could be a way to build our temple here. Let's see, that requires steel, though. So we'll need more wood and steel. And we should be able to increase productivity of a building. I wonder if we can choose a specific building for that. Go ahead and try to increase the productivity of one of the woodcutters' camps. And we could turn that on there. Doesn't really show. I clicked on that. Doesn't really show that it's doing anything, but we'll go ahead and have them cut down over there. And the woodcutter camp can cut down here. As you see, the trees grow back, so so long as we're in this kind of green area, we have an endless supply of lumber. It does grow back every so often. So the most you have to do is click back and forth. Alright, let's go ahead and raid these guys. I want to see some more combat. We could recruit them, but let's just cut them down, yes. And we'll get the bonus from the village. Get them, boys! Wow, look at those spears. Those are massive. Oh, these guys are pretty good. Let's see here. Shield wall increases range damage resistance. Ah, okay. So if we were being attacked by archers, this would be the unit to use while we approach. Basically nullifies the damage. Not a lot of damage. Incredible. Wow, it's taking a long time to kill these guys with these 2 units. I'm surprised. Alright. Now, we should be able to also raid this camp and get supplies from it. I believe so. Unless that's in the campaign, there should be a way to get those. But we can get a bonus from the village by going back.
On my way.
And we can claim a bonus from those people if it wasn't already given when they said it was complete. Okay, they may have given us a bonus, I'm not sure, but it is definitely a cool thing to be able to do NPC quests and help out local villages in order to win the day. 95 wood will give us what we need to build this boat. Let's get it done. I want to see the boat built now. Let's dump out a bunch of our stone. No more than 100, because we will need to build the temple eventually. We'll try to get close to that. 101 is okay. We'll trade that for 101 wood. There we go. Perfect. All right, let's build a giant boat. We can unlock more boats, but I think this is good for our first build. And the build begins when we assign workers to that. And eventually they'll shove it into the sea once it's complete. We can have multiple boat yards, build more than one at a time if we want more ships at sea. Looks like we can assign more workers here at some of these places. And it looks like some of the stuff has already been collected, so we'll have to reassign them to different locations to gather the rest of that iron. Or stone, such as on the right side. 46 remaining. So the military units actually pilot the boat as well, so they're also part of the crew. It's not a separate unit or anything like that. So if you do abandon your boat, the enemy may have a possibility to steal it from you. I'm not sure how that works, but it sounds like it could be a possible thing to watch out for. Now we're getting through the winter, and we are critical at food now. We're going to have to really worry about gathering more food for our people. We can go ahead and actually buy some more food then this time around for the winter. Let's go ahead and sell clothing, since we really won't need it. Only for the archers. So that's a good way to work around if we have some sort of a lack of food. And here we go. We have ourselves our giant ship. Check that out. All of our units can load onto it. The large one can have 4, the medium size 3, and the small one 2. And here we can load 4 units of 5.
All right.
Or in the other case of the other units, the shield bearers, I believe they have a 6-man unit that can do the same. Pretty cool. So we can go around and explore on these boats. We can have a massive navy with smaller escort ships. And we can even put ballistas on these ships. So if the enemy has somehow created a fortress blocking one of the ocean ways in, we can upgrade and get a ballista. And that's crazy. So let's see if we can go down that way now. We'll try to do the level 2 upgrade technology tree. There's the Ebix I was talking about, or fertility, which increases birth rate. I don't think we need to worry about that just yet. We'll go for tier 3, which then allows us to get the tradesmen for better deals, or spike pits, which will be a defense coming soon that we can choose. And then the level 4, which we require a little bit more material on. But the tradesman deal will give us a better trade at the marketplace. So let's go for that one, and we'll be able to buy our way towards the top here. It's going to be cool. Let's add some more people to the well. Looks like all the trees have been cut down again. That doesn't take long, does it? Not at all. Go ahead and have the woodcutter continue to cut. Excellent. Nice. And we'll have our military units stay outside. And they'll guard the walls. Alright, we're going to hold off on building anything for a little while. Just until we get up on those unlocks. However, I would like to try to build the temple if we can. Which I believe is under the home tab. Yep. And there's our temple, giving more bonuses to the city around it. So you really got to prepare your city planning. It's kind of hard to jam all this stuff into the right spot. But as you can see, it provides a huge bonus. We might actually want to destroy the farm here and move that up there. Let's go ahead and do that so we can get the bonus to the temple closer to the town. You can see all the houses and buildings that we can influence positively that way. So a little better to increase our bonus that way. And then we'll put our farm up here. A better spot for it, I'd say. More flat land. And of course there is a forest there, so it's going to look a little weird. More than likely the trees will grow back and the mill will be in the middle of a forest, but as long as we continue to move our logging camp back there every once in a while, it should clear out all the trees. Alright, let's take a look to find any more supplies nearby. Our people are facing hunger yet again. Have we finished the trade deal? Yes. Alright, so now we should have a better trade deal. Let's trade some of our iron for food. There we go. And we got to get that farm back up ASAP as soon as people go back over to work on that. In the meantime, let's build some more farms. And I'd love to build more fishing huts, but unfortunately, we're just out of space. So it seems there's another way to win rather than conquering our enemy. On the left side, we see Trial of the Gods. Now that we built our temple, we can actually go and find the different types of ruins that will give us bonuses. So here's our temple. As you can see, they each give us a different bonus. Reforesting area, clearing the sky. We can make storms if we want to, or have our troops get better experience in battle or at the start. So there's all sorts of bonuses there. But we need to fight over map control, essentially, is the way to do that. Hunger yet again. All right, let's go ahead and trade for leather. We'll trade for food now. Trying to correct that with all the farms we're building. And I think we need to build even more. Farmhouses require 35 wood, so we'll trade for wood then. There we go. And this hide is essentially free because we're trading... We'll trade hides for wood, and then once we use the wood on farms, it'll give us that right back again. Then we can continue to use that as a currency. Hide is really only used for building a very small amount of buildings, but also boats and, I think, axemen and a few military units required. So long as you're doing all right in battle, you won't really need too much of it. There we go. All right, cool. Let's assign some more people to work at these buildings now that they're constructed. Alright. And back at the windmill again. Let's see if we can build a nice big farm here for our people to farm out. Farm out, man. There we go. Well, it's a little difficult to build that there. Try to build it up this way. A little awkward building the farms, I will say, but that'll give us a little bit of food. There we go. Wow, it looks incredible. Amazing looking. We haven't even touched the military aspect. And look at that. That's amazing. Wonder if we can deselect that building there and go into photo mode. That's incredible. Oh, man. It's a worker building selected. There we go. Wow. Looks like something out of a promotional artwork thing of a different game, but this is in-game right here. And we've got our ship out at the ocean. I'm impressed. Great stuff going on. Really, truly. There's so much more to see, there's so much more to do, but I think this is just the basics of the game and what it has to offer, and I, for one, am just beyond impressed with that. This is only scratching the surface of what the game has to offer. In a few days, we'll take a look at the full game and more of the campaign that it has to offer. But I think that's it here for today on our really just more in-depth first look at more of what the game has to offer. First look at the skirmish mode, more of a city builder than anything in this game mode. I like it. All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in and joining me for today's episode. Make sure you smash the subscribe button on the way out if you'd like to see more of this game. And make sure you smash that like button to support the devs. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks again for all the love and awesomeness down below in the comments section. And we'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.